Hello everybody, I am live. What is up? Andy from Glass Half Dead here. Oh wait, I should say this thing, shouldn't I? What's the thing I say? Hello everybody, Andy from Glass Half Dead here, the #1 Kill Team channel on YouTube, unless of course you are aware of any other channel on YouTube, in which case don't look into that, thank you. What's up? We've got Space Marine Mindset. What does that mean? Is that like deeply religious, incredibly homoerotic, but you know, I'm willing to admit it? Like what is the Space Marine mindset to you? Genuinely curious. Kaz, hello. Ola from Spain. Ola, mine tombola, I assume. I don't know Spanish. The only thing I know in Spanish is obviously no me gusta. There you go. Stork, Warcry lives. I genuinely hope it does. Genuinely. I feel like I talk about this all the time. But yes. I feel like often for the past, 3 years, I've been a little bit too harsh on Warcry, but I genuinely like it. Like, I think it's a solid little game. Legit. And yeah, I would love it if this, whatever, June, July, it re-releases and like splashes, glazes the lot of us. That'd be awesome. Will it? I mean, rumors say no, and it's getting pulled, but who knows, right? Who knows? Oh, I guess it wouldn't be July. It would be September, wouldn't it? We'd get, hypothetically, Horus Heresy re-release, and then we'd get Warcry in the Kill Team slot, right? Tunda Allo. Sprugit Allo. Oh wait, why am I looking all the way over there? I can move chat so I can read it closer. Right, hold on. Here we go. Ryan, I don't know of any other channels. Kill Team or other. Let's keep it that way. Thank you very much. Thank you. Kiwi Commander, hello, hello. Slacker at large, hello. Ian Hayward, hello. Jay, hi babe to you. We all love Warcry. I do think not everybody loves Warcry, but I think it's so. If I could, man, this is why I don't talk about Warcry, clearly. But I genuinely think that you can play Warcry whether or not you like it. You can choose to like it, right? Like, you might like it, and that is good, and it will be better for it. But even if you don't like it, but your friend sits down and says, I want to play Warcry, basically everybody could say, yeah, I can play one game, and then we'll play another game that I prefer to play. But I don't think many games have that capability. So I think in that regards, it is very flexible. And we all like flexible things, of course. Right. So we've just had a disastrous note. Academic Chris will not be on the stream today. Very sad. Hopefully he will watch it back and hear this unapologetic love note that I'm leaving him right now. I don't know. Hydratus Dominatus. Will I ever get that artwork made? Seems unlikely. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Jim, Warcry is dead. Long live Warcry. I love Warcry. Super fun. I have 19 played to seem like GW's moving on. It does. It's a shame. But yeah, I mean, hey. It is what it is. Ultimately, if it didn't sell, it didn't sell. And that tells you enough, doesn't it? Right? Like, there is a reason it didn't sell. If it can't sustain itself, clearly the small community online just isn't enough. And that actually kind of answers a certain thing in that, yes, it's easy to get the game in because it's nice and small and compact, flexible, etc. But another big thing about wanting to get games in, for me as a player, is that I want to play these things with other people. If the game isn't enough that GW thinks it's like it's not selling enough that it's worth doing, that probably means I wouldn't be able to get games in, to be honest. How is Underworld still going? Pass. I assume somebody there is just gets to do what they want. There you go. And it just breaks even. Who knows? But there you go. It is what it is. Andy, why are chickens funny? Johnny, Andy loves content. Thank you, Johnny. Ian, not played Warcry yet, but starting to collect some Warhounds. Nice, nice. I do think that one of the big boons of Warcry is that, of course, it works in Sigmar too. I always like a bit of that cross-play. Allows me to feel like I get to play with my models as I'm building them instead of just after I built 2k points, right? Evil Bear Skirmish, hello, hello. I regret to inform everyone that I pre-ordered the new Death Guard Combat Patrol, so I will be painting that next. That is a disaster. Nobody likes painting. I'm genuinely convinced of that. I also see no reason why I would ever have to explain that, so I'm just going to move straight on. Thank you. No further questions. Relaunch Warcry's Grimdark AOS, totally agree. Yep, they need to revamp it, 100%. Agreed. Greetings and salutations to Major Tom as well. Hello, hello, hello. Finished painting my 11th Aquilon. Wait, do we need 11? Yes, if you count the drone. It's not a drone, the servo turret. Yes. First kill team weeks FLGS on Wednesday. Should I play Aquilons or AOD? You know, when I've taken a little break, I like to go back into AOD because it allows you to just kind of not think about it too much, get the game done, and remember, like, oh yeah, Kill Team doesn't have to be a total sweat fest. This was fun. And then as you go forwards, after having reconciled your love of the game with reality, you can get into the sweatier teams. And by sweatier, of course, I do mean less durable, which means you're going to lose models more easily, etc., blah, blah, blah. I've seen Underworld played in my LGS. Really? Okay. Fair play. Fair play. Can't argue with that. Hey, if you've seen it, right? Underworld gives them shelf space in mainstream shops. That is a fair point. It does, of course, provide a different space. You know, it's a different game. Agreed. Agreed. Oh, we have a super chat from Johnny. £2. Thank you so much. It's our leader's Deck's birthday. Double hello. Oh, your leader. Well, you know what? I haven't given a double hello, and I probably need to at this point. We're 7 minutes in. So, hey, if you are watching the stream, this is a subscriber-only benefit, except for Johnny's leader, a guy called Deck, who does not have to be a subscriber to get this benefit. But it is a big double hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds. The worlds of glass half dead. What is a double hello? Well, it's a pleasantry that's given to you twice, and who wouldn't want a pleasantry given to you twice? Additionally, much like Johnny there, if you are a supporter of the channel monetarily, whether that be through Patreon, in which case you get a whole load of videos ahead of time, and you get some additional videos as well, or if you're a donator on the live streams, I'd like to give you a big thank you and to let you know what your hard-earned money goes towards, and that is my hydration fund. Today we're having some 5 cola. Lovely. From Aldi? I don't even know anymore, to be honest. Aldi, there you go. Hydratus Dominatus. That's what I say when I open these now, because I think it's funny. Also, I do have some real Alpha Legion vibes. That's definitely for sure. For some reason, all of the Chaos Marines are always bald. Hashtag same, you know? So, it does shatter my illusion, knowing that if there ever is a live-action Warhammer, I wouldn't be able to be a loyalist. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. You know, we all have to... You gotta play the hand you're dealt, as they say. So, right, I've got to go back now, sorry. Seen Underworld played my LGS. Underworld gives the, yep. How on earth is Underworld still a thing? No clue. Underworld's in its book. It is in bookstores, because it's a board game, isn't it? Yeah, which makes sense. I get it. Yep, I do it. Some people there claiming they love painting. I assume they've been gaslit into thinking this. I do, you know, I'm sorry to you guys that you feel this way. It is what it is. You know, maybe seek help, seek therapy. I'm worried it will be an entry into AOS and have enough unpainted plastic. I love a good entry. I think we all love being entered at some times. And being entered into AOS via Warcry is a great thing. So, yeah. Greetings, what do you think? When will they release the next Kill Team box. I'd really like to get my hands on the Tyranids. Thank you, Bumfee. A fair question. So, assuming that they stick with the standard schedule, which we assume they will, we would guess, therefore, mid-June. There you go. We don't know yet. We don't know. That might change, but I would expect mid-June. Which means we would probably hear about it in about 3 weeks, I suppose. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Yeah. No problem, Johnny. Thank you for the Hydratus Dominatus funding. Bold suggestion, Warcry should be moved over to the old world to take advantage of the current spike in WFRP. Yeah. No, I understand why you say that. It's just... That's just Mordheim. Just redo Mordheim. There you go. I know that technically Mordheim is not in the same era as current old world, but I also don't care. There you go. Bravery mindset. Are the Pathfinders any good? I was thinking of buying the Tower Combat Patrol using the Pathfinders Kill Team. Yes. They've just had a really nice buff. I think that they are now relatively solid. To the point that they might win some games, if I'm honest. Yeah, I can't confirm that, but I think they might have the sauce to make the stew. There you go. Don't know. Haven't played them yet. I want to, but haven't had a time. I was going to be playing Vespids today, but I didn't have time, so I haven't. There you go. But hopefully soon, which, if I'm lucky, will lead to a quick one of my battle reports, like the last one I did, where it's just me on my own, like recapping it. So hopefully I will do that. But actually, as I start to find out how busy I am at work, that might not happen. Leaks Veeks, hi Andy, Ayao. Shout out to all the folk who like me are currently rimming. We all love a good rim job, so I'm glad to see that some people are doing that. Good. You've got to get that hobby done, despite nobody liking it. Calvin says Omegon confirmed. Why not Alfarius? I mean, they're the same person, obviously, but Alfarius is more meme-worthy. Join the Hive Mind, part of the Patreon, part of the crew. Yes, join the Hive Mind, agreed. Because, obviously, the other famously bald faction is Gene Stealer Cults. And if I kind of, like, do this, then I kind of had head ridges like them. So... Gene Stealer cultist, chaos worshipper, that's me. Through and through. Are they bald because they're chaos, or are they chaos because they're bald? The eternal question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Either way, we know that they have egg heads. My assumption, to be clear, is that chaos is simply... a metaphor for toxic masculinity. And what they are showing there is that their elevated testosterone levels, because they're all alpha males, has made them lose their hair. And because of that, you know, you get where I'm going with this. It's nice in Spain, but so many sanctifiers around. Terrible. And they have a high win rate, let me tell you that. I've just seen their win rates. Oof. Ouch. That's the fun part. Painting is therapy. You know, that's what some people say. To me, painting is a straitjacket. Eddie, hello. Also in Spain. Of course. Always keeping hydrated, as we all should. Hydratus Dominata, thank you. My real issue, chat. I'll talk about this in a moment. But when I make jokes on my channel like Hydratus Dominatus, that's fine. That's a fun little thing to say. You know, it's amusing. But I then want to do hobby based around it, and I don't like hobby. So, that's frustrating. But I'm like, oh yeah, well obviously I should have an Alpha Legion army. You know? I've already got a Phobos Alpha Legion, they're right there. But yeah, I should... Why not have a whole army? And why not buy double the amount of models I require and do Alpha Legion properly? And so have half of the model being a Primaris and then the other half from the Legionary kit, but painted Alpha Legion. I need therapy myself, clearly. But I've stayed strong. I have not made these purchases. Well done, me. Painting isn't my favourite part of the hobby. That'd be kit bashing modelling, but I do like to paint minis. I quite like kit bashing. I feel like I make a lot of progress very easily with very simple tips. So, yeah. Yeah. But then painting's a nightmare. Paint around 20 minutes a week and I don't even enjoy painting. I feel I'm mentally broken. Join my therapy club. Maybe that can be a title of a video. Therapy club. I hate painting, but I play Warhammer. Something like that. I use AOS minis for D&D a lot. Yes, they are good. They are good. Old world, there are some really good old world minis. Not even the new ones. Just some of the old sculpts are still really strong. No problem, Space Marine mindset. Constantly just said that bed pods aren't Tyranids. I don't know what a bed pod is. Mordheim wouldn't work unless they move the setting of the year. I already said that. I already said that, Major Tom. I said I know that they're in different eras. You're not convincing me. Warp Spider, Evil Bear Scavenger, I hate painting but building more. You're talking to somebody else. I'll stop reading. Perturabo, Lord of Iron. Any experiences with Kaskin? No. Well, I mean, so, hey, go back and you can watch the battle report I did where I did Kaskin versus Nemesis Claw. It ended in a way that I won't spoil for you. My takeaway from Kaskin, and I have not played them or overly analysed their new rules, is that I found them quite dull. So ignoring their power level, which can be changed, they were dull. And that's bad. You know, that is bad. Yeah. Good for beginners. Good for beginners to get a real sense of the game and a grasp on the game with a normal team. I will say that. But I think combined with the fact that they weren't very strong or good is a negative, obviously. So, any predictions for the next two teams for Kill Team? Predictions, no. But I'm going to say Death Watch versus Melee Necrons. There you go. That sounds fun. What have you missed? Literally nothing, Caveman Dan. That is the beauty of my live streams. Nothing ever happens. I don't say anything interesting. I make no points ever. You can drop in at any time and you will know that you have missed nothing ever. Pigeon56 is new here. Hello, new here. How are you? Oh, I see down there, Brewster has just entered the chat. I have to shout him out because I should let him know that I have not yet messaged him on Discord asking him for DIY help around my house. I've instead bought tools. Bruce, you recall the thing you put up for me, the poll? I put it up again. I moved it. DIY champion here. You are free from the shackles, the yoke of oppression of having to DIY my house for me. Thank you. That is not true. I need to remove a skirting board. So I bought a pry bar. I'll get into that later. Never mind. Anyway, moving on. You don't need therapy, Andy. You just need more money to buy. You know what? More money is the same as therapy. It's actually a synonym. Heresy models are great to kit bash Alpha Legion. Yes, that's for sure. I'd probably keep it just doing standard Legionary, though. I'm okay without doing the Horus Heresy models. But you can get some cheap 20 bodies, so maybe I should think about that. Vulcan is bald and he is so wholesome, unless you were some unlucky Eldari child, of course. Exception that proves the point, I would assume, on that one, right? Like, you've got to have one bald loyalist that, like, you know, holds up the side, proves the point. Don't you think that new 1-inch obscure is toxic? I mean, it's almost about pixel hunting now. 2-inch with 1-inch gap was more clear to define obscure. Wow, somebody talked about Kill Team in my chat? Instant ban, mate. Sorry. No, yeah. I understand what you're saying. However, we're still getting so many people not understanding line of sight. So clearly the change that has been made hasn't been enough. But I see why they made the change. And I think that now that they have added in the clause that you can only ever take cover or be obscured, I think that it's fine, if I'm honest. Since they made that change, it's okay. Yeah. But you're right. You're right. As much as we all maligned it, the 2-inch dead zone made a lot of sense. And clearly that was play tested, and they realised they really needed that 2-inch dead zone. But as consumers, we're too dumb, and we needed help. So thank God they gave it to us, right? Because in fairness, once you get to the point where you think that not having a 2-inch dead zone is toxic, you're already in, so it literally doesn't matter. Too late, you're in. So, having been painting way more, playing, and I am clearly odd, but quite enjoy it. No, again, gaslighting. Vespids to bed pods. Vespids are cool. They are. There. As you can tell, I've changed the background to be my kill teams with a few highlighted 40k big centerpieces. For funsies, there you go. Phobos as Alpha Legion was a logical pick for me too. One of the first teams I kit bashed. Yes, part of the reason I did that myself is because the Phobos models was so bad. There you go. Yeah, got nothing else to say. They were terrible, terrible models. Building flayed ones was terrible. I agree. I would never wish to experience that again. That is fair. Yeah, it's fine. I reckon it's going to be good once I get to combine them with Inquisitorial agents, or for... Oh, sure. Well, if you play Ink agents, then that is a different situation. Yes. Apparently, they're still good there. 20 miniatures a week. Oh, well, that is totally different. That's pretty acceptable. That's basically an army a week, mate. Pretty good. Please don't make any more how to assemble and paint figures videos. Is this reverse psychology? I don't know how to respond to this, but okay. I won't, maybe? Unless I want to, in which case I will. This is basically how I work. I want to make a Deathwatch kill team, but not sure what box to buy. Do you have an idea? It depends what type of Deathwatch you want to make. There you go. If you just want to make it, then just buy the the kill team, the Deathwatch. Yeah, just buy the Deathwatch kill team. There you go. And just put them on cork bait on big tactical rocks, and you have yourself an AOD proxyable team. If you want to do more complicated things, it requires a little bit of vision and insight from you about what exactly you want to do with them. If you want to keep them 40k tabletop appropriate, or you don't care about that at all, etc, etc. All the gear, no idea. Yes. Not all the gear either. That stuff's expensive, man. My personal prediction is Grey Knights and a new Demon Year. I would love that, yes. I've said that before. I would like a Sons of Bellicor or whatever. That can be used across multiple games, because Bellicor can also be used across multiple games, whereas demons elsewhere are in general being not usable. There you go. All right. I was thinking maybe the Phobos box with a Deathwatch upgrade pack. Yeah, that would work. Sure, you can do that. Yeah, you can do anything you want. No one's going to stop you. Do you think playing solo is a good training for kill team? Yes, I do. I think that solo and co-op is a great way to learn kill team. I recently did a video even where I say that the way that I actually like playing the game the most is to play it competitively, cooperatively. I don't think that we need to view approved ops, competitive tournament play, as the be-all end-all of kill team. It's a very narrow, limited view of the game. So therefore, playing solo can just be the game for you. It doesn't have to be training for the next step. It could just be the game, right? So therefore, solo is good. But if you are talking about specifically to learn the game, then yes, it is good. Have they changed it again? I thought you could still get cover and obscured if it was from separate structures. Yes, you can, Major Tom. But colloquially, I didn't think we were using my verbatim words as raw. But yes, you can still get cover and obscured. I was more referring to the fact, which I assumed that the previous commenter was, but maybe he wasn't, that's fair, about, you know, because when he's talking about pixel hunting, right, that's like, oh, yes, this 2mm piece of terrain in front of me, I'm going to stand an inch and 1mm, and like, you know, because otherwise it's not so much pixel hunting, I feel. Can you show your favorite miniature? I don't have one. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. There's some really cool miniatures, but to pick one favorite, I literally can't do it. The only issue I have with Vespids are the... Although... Nah, there's too many. There's too many. I could just talk about awesome models I have. Yeah. It just wouldn't... I wouldn't... For example, I wouldn't be able to pick Farsight over... Oh, what's his name? Not Grimaldus. The Chapter Master of the Black Templars, who's just above him here. They're both super cool models, but in totally different ways. Likewise, we've got Triumph of St. Catherine. We've got Void Dragon. We've got Abaddon. We've got an Archangel. There's so many cool models. You know, and all in totally different ways. As much as we may like to slag off G-dubs, they do know a thing or two about a thing or two. Oh, yeah, the Vespid wings are mad. Yeah, they're really hard to move and tuck in sometimes, but it shouldn't be an issue. But unfortunately, we do play a game where sometimes you have to rotate and tuck in, otherwise your model's dead. It's really frustrating. Would you say Legionaries is a good team to get? Don't want insanely OP teams, but enough to get me a win every now and then. Usually we'll have the breaches, Jaegers on Brood. I think that if you're playing Warhammer, kill teams specifically, obviously, you should pick one Space Marine team. In fact, I would recommend everybody starts learning kill team with a Space Marine team. You've mentioned Legionary instead of Angels of Death. That's totally fine. I would say that's a good pick. You can't go wrong with any of the Space Marine teams. I will note, and this shouldn't be a concern to you at all, but I will note that Legionary currently are on the rotating out list. So from September onwards, they will not be legal to play in certain high-end tournaments. Now, does that matter to you? No, it does not, is the answer. Certainly not where you are now. And if you get to the point where you want to go to certain high-end tournaments, well, you'll probably have a second team, so it's fine. Really wouldn't give that too much consideration, but just so you're aware, as I do have to proviso things, if you're going for a golden ticket, Legionary will rotate out soon. They will still be playable in other tournaments, to be clear, and generally, obviously. But if you go for high-end competitiveness, they get rotated out in September. There you go. However, I will say, if you think they're awesome, buy them, and they can be proxied as AOD, and you're fine, you're good to go. There you go. I just played my Vespids yesterday into my friend's Blades of Cain, and pummeled him into the ground. He thinks they're too strong now with the extra model, but I think they feel good now. Interesting. AOD, so... Blades of Cain... Yeah. I think Blades of Cain actually have a really not great matchup into Vespids regardless. Because Vespids have the move to shoot you when they want to shoot you. And there's not much you can do about it. And so yeah, so their extra damage is almost irrelevant. But an extra model gives them another body to kill more guys. And you don't have enough guys. So I actually totally see that. Obviously you've said that you've mentioned now, so implying that he was fine with them before, so I do get that. But Blades of Cain are really quite good, So I think that's okay, if I'm honest. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, Blaziken are strong. So I want to be the very best. The best that ever was. Should I do real math and... Oh, okay. I thought we were going to continue with the Pokemon thing. Should I do real math and statistics in my mind before moving shooting? What do you think? No, you don't need to. You can do rough math. Quick maths. The D6 is relatively small and easy to figure out. Very rough statistics, and Kill Team doesn't have that wider spread of things. You don't need to know if something has a 50% chance or a 52% chance, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That is essentially irrelevant. You need to know if something has a 40% chance or a 75% chance, right? And you can work that out really quickly. We're not even talking back of the napkin maths. We're talking, I reckon, and going for that. So doing quick maths is fine. You don't need a Kill Team calculator to figure the game out. You might get to the point where you really enjoy that, in which case, great. You can do that. Do you have any Kill Teams that you find most interesting in a narrative sense? I do think that Commandos are a triumph of Orc genuity. They're really quite fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, Commandos are really, really quite good. I'd have to think. Let me contemplate. Who else exists narratively? I actually, you know, we all hate to say it, but I do think that narratively, the new Goremongers and Sanctifiers have great narrative. I think the Mandrakes, great narrative rules. I think that Kill Team in general has done a really, really good job in general of making their teams have a strong narrative, and I think that's really good. I think that we get our fill on that for sure. You're not going to be let down too often. I will say something that can be brought up another time with more depth after I've had more thought on it. But a lot of the just generic Imperium teams are a bit dull. Yeah, they seem to have played it safe from the Imperial teams a little bit, which is fine. But yeah, I need to have more thoughts about that before I say much there. I, my friend, ended up with Marines with chainsaws because of new obscuring, because we never give an opportunity to shoot. Toad Casino. Yes, I will say that as well. I think that at the moment, Kill Team is heavily leaning towards melee being the way to play the game, which is such a shame because we have this whole interesting line of sight system. We just don't need it. Let's charge and fight. And hey, because of the game, that's more effective. Well done. You win. It's like, whoops. Yeah, so bit of a weird one, bit of a missed opportunity. I do think that with Kill Team in its current state on the current boards we're playing. So I had an idea a few days ago for MPO bosses. The idea was having an in-between the hero and brick to show light vehicles and monsters, then a super brick. Yeah. Do it, man. Do it. Obviously, if you're going to take a Baneblade, you probably want to play that on a full-size board as opposed to just a single Kill Team board because it's really big. But yes. Seen Space Marines have plot armor when it comes... Yes, that is true. That is true. Nice one. Plot armor strikes again on the balanced day slate this time. Plot armor for Space Marines. It's normal Space Marines are better than most. They are. That's just normal armor, I think. Yeah. It's lore accurate armor. Creation of the Bar could be a cool Kill Team. Yes, that'd be cool. I agree. Really do some weird, funky stuff with Fabius Bar, and also give him like a new coterie group to go around with him in 40k. That'd be sweet. The new Tyranid Kill Team, yeah, looks cool. I mean, hey, until we get it in our hands, we can't truly know. I didn't like the paint job on that we've been shown, but I love the concept of a 5-man team. Really into that, and I like Tyranids. So yeah, I've got my Tyranids right here. There you go. I've already painted 10 Hormigans and 2 Ripper Swarms, plus a Lictor. Lictor? I hardly knew her. Hopefully my girlfriend's not currently in chat. Thank you. But yes, big fan of Tyranids, and these guys look interesting until we... Considering that most GW models look worse in a picture, and then when you see them in the flesh, in the grey, they look pretty sweet. I'm going to assume I'm going to like the Raveners, yeah. Let's all just play Space Marines then, and forget that Space Marine would be populated with anything else. That Space Marine Hey man, there's 1,000 Space Marines per chapter, but there's an infinite number of chapters. Sounds fine to me. I'm cool with it. Let's just all play Space Marines. Bruce, you run a Space Marine only tournament, and I guarantee you it will be your best-selling tournament, okay? Do it. Commanders are the best orcs GW ever made. I don't know if I agree with that. In fact, I distinctly don't. But I think they're really, really good. Now, mainly because I'm a bit of a sucker for the Iron Jaws. Yeah, coming from another universe there, I do understand, but I really like the Iron Jaws models. Yeah. Carouseline. I find it painful that elites are so good for learning. Played Aquilons, really want to play Death Corps, but I know that I will never win. Carouseline, hold fire. Hold fire, because, as my patrons have already seen, I have a full how to play Vet Guard Death Corps coming up soon. I got on the winner of LVO, Sammy, the absolute legend, as he won a big tournament with Vet Guard. No other channel had a chat with him, so I didn't know how he did it. So I was like, okay, well, buddy, you got to tell me, because that's actually interesting. So coming soon. It's an hour and 8 minutes. You will know you will learn everything you need to know about how to play Vet Guard. Okay, so there you go. It's coming. I definitely agree on Kill Team nailing thematic rules. They've taken some big swings on doing sort of unusual teams. I totally agree with you. Because I said that and you're agreeing with me. So that makes sense that I agree with you. Now that I think about it. But yes, in general, I think that Kill Team does a really good job of going a little bit wacky with the theme and the narrative, which is exactly what it should do. Does that mean that they occasionally miss with the balance? Yes, but everyone does. Genuinely, even if they didn't take big swings with the narrative mechanics, I don't think the game would be any better balanced. Right? So I'm glad they're doing it. Speaking of horrible matchups, my worst fear is probably playing Goremongers against my friend's Vespids. Why? No, I think there's worse matchups. But you're right, that wouldn't be great for the Goremongers. And I don't think you'd win. To be clear, I don't... Yeah. That's a tough matchup. But I don't think it's an auto loss. That is a fair... That's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. Yeah. There you go. Because, of course, the Goremongers can't take more than 8 damage in a single shot, and each Vespid can only fire once. Now, it does mean that your Goremongers are then dead on the first melee, and they can't one-shot the Vespid. So they are going to die when they charge and do the only thing they can do, which is charge and fight. But... I don't have a but there, actually. Yeah, that's a tough matchup. But I don't think Vespid are inherently amazing at shooting in a way that certain other teams aren't. Obviously, I did just recently find out that a fly is literally a teleport and you go through walls. I did not know that. But there you go. That's the thing. Who knew? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Probably won't come up too much, but it actually makes them stunningly good. Possibly the best team in the game for invading a stronghold. Which is lucky then that they don't have any... If they had security, that would be good. But they don't, so there you go, never mind. Have you thought about doing a new video on the lore of Kill Team? We enjoyed your previous lore video, and there are a bunch more teams now. Yeah, I could. It's just a lot of work to do that, so it'll be a while till I do that. But yes, it's something I want to do. It's just kind of picking a time. I'll have to have free time, and I would also want to release it kind of like just after a big release. So maybe after the first box of the next season releases, whatever we get in that. Just on the assumption that it will probably be a big box with new terrain. So we'll have a few more eyes on Kill Team at the time. It's definitely something to do. Yeah, it needs to be done. But I have other big videos that also need to be done more so than that. I know what you mean. I started with the Deathcore, but you need good understanding. You 100% do. Deathcore are not a good team to start with. We've known that from 3.5 years ago now. When nobody could win with Deathcore. It is not the team to learn the game with. I like shooty game style better, even though I'm an OD. Oh no. Yes, I genuinely believe, and I've said it before, that Kill Team should be a shooty game. But currently, it really feels like you only get punished for shooting. That's the wrong way. That's not what I mean to say at all. You don't get punished for shooting. It's just melee is so much easier and simpler, so just do that. 30 minutes late again this week. Work is getting in my way. Daniel Green, how dare you, sir? I feel like I know many people named Daniel Green, but you're not any of those people, so hello. Well, thank you for turning up. Hydratus Dominatus to us all. Oh yeah. Beast Pack Kill Team for Drukhari, not the Dark Eldar. They don't exist, of course. So, yes, I'd love that, actually. That'd be really cool. Yes. It's all about, are they going to actually give the Drukhari a Beast Pack team again? Do they still have a Beast Pack team? No. They can't, can they? Nah. But that would be really cool. I don't know what the box would be, though, because, of course, before you used to have to just buy a bunch of, like, random Finecast models. But, yeah. Yeah. Very cool. I would like that. I want some Froggy Slam Pirate. I don't think we're going to get that. I'm willing to bet money. I'll bet you the password to my channel we don't get Slan Pirates for Kill Team. Recently got to my... I won't rule Hrud off Kill Team, though, because Kill Team is exactly the place where we should get that weird team. Recently got to fight my friend's AOD for the first time. Honestly, I had to fight to keep my Legionaries alive. Oh, with Legionary. Okay. Was a much needed matchup for me. What have you been playing before? I assume not other elites in that case. I've been trying to decide how to paint the Tyranid Kill Team currently between Xenomorph from Aliens or Deep Sea Bioluminescence. You know me, I can only possibly answer that one way. Deep Sea Bioluminescence. The problem with the Xenomorphs is they're just black. To clarify, I don't have any problem with that colour, except, sorry, it doesn't show up on camera. So I would not be able to use it for a battle report. And that is the only way I think about painting models. There you go. Iron Jaws are too cartoony. Yes, I like cartoony. And I think it's mad that you don't think Commandos are cartoony. Right? They're very cartoony. But I like that. What do you think about Nemclaw versus Phobos? So Phobos, if you go into Nemclaw, you get to ignore their obscured with, which, you know, their faction ability with multiple models, which means they have to play a slightly more honest game. I will now say that from my limited experience of playing Phobos, have no idea how Phobos beat other Marine teams, so I will have to pass. I should probably play against an elite team with Phobos. I have not done that. But yeah, seems like a real tough matchup in general, but other people are able to do it. I'm just saying, if I was in that matchup, I would prefer to be playing the Nemclaw. Kind of tempted to convert the old Custodes team to the new edition to play against friends. Do you think it's worth it? Ooh, how are you going to convert them? Are you just gonna... I mean, there's no conversion required. If you have friends that are willing to... You could just play any compendium team. There's no changes, right? They're just the same. However, now we have Raveners, a 5-body, 40 mil base team. And that means that's Custodes. We just look at the models. Okay, what do they do? Right, one's got big claws. That's your melee guy. One's got toxic shooting. That's your pistol guy. One's got other stuff. Right? That's your shield guy. Whatever. That is how I view teams. I have no interest in playing Compendium because it's a dead format for me, so I wouldn't be able to play it, right? But finding valid proxies means I can play with my cool models, which is what I really want to do. As I've said before, no GW game is good enough to not play without cool ass models. But again, all wargaming is social, so I want to play with my cool models against other people. So proxying the models I think are cool for teams people will be willing to play is the way I view that sort of thing. But if you have people willing to play, then yeah, do whatever you want. Chimerix Project. Hello, sir. Everybody, of course, Chimerix Project is another YouTube channel that you should check out. Another Kill Teamer. Kill Team Stan right there. There's not too many of us, so, you know, I always like to attempt to spread the love. You should check out all the Kill Team channels you can. There aren't so many of us that you can't watch all of them. Definitely do that. My favourite Kill Team to play right now is Brew Brothers, Jaeger, and High-Tech Circle. What are yours? Ah, man. So, I'm not going to answer that exactly because it's really difficult. I really struggle to think of my favourite things. But I'm intending imminently to play Vespids, Aquilons, and Pathfinders. Those are the ones that are interesting me at the moment. But if I just had to go with favourite teams, I'd probably go AOD and my bad boys here, Blades of Cain, because they're what I've played the most. Simon Bergeron, hello. Kill Team is the melee game and Warcry is the shooting. Yeah, true. Yeah. Just roll sixes in Warcry and it's a shooty game, right? GW are institutionally biased towards melee. They've been since the days of 3rd Ed WFB when they were trying to neuter Elf Bowman. I feel like you say things deliberately designed to incense, enrage, inflame, engorge, maybe one could say, things to such a tiny niche of people, but you are deliberately in the chats of people that they will get enraged and incensed and engorged by those statements. So congrats on picking your targets and your victims, sir. I want to just argue about that now, but yeah, okay, right. Because I don't think you're right. But you got me. I'm your mark. And you hit. Corsairs and High-Tech Circle. High-Tech Circle, yes, I kept them down here. I haven't played High-Tech Circle since the Gallo Fall season. I haven't played High-Tech Circle since they were first buffed. I've only played them as their original nerfed team, but I played them loads. I should probably play them. I have them here, ready to go. I want to play them as well. Thank you for reminding me about that. Corsairs I don't want to play, which honestly were a lot of and huge learning experiences. It's just my first time into other Marines, so it was... Ooh, man. High-Tech Circle sucked to play into. Or at least, sorry, they did before they were nerfed. Phobos First Elite is mostly on the Reavers. Yeah, so in my head, I want to imagine that if you're doing Phobos into Elites and you're good at it, you aren't spamming Reavers, because that's what I would do. You know? That's like a dumb player thing. I was like, oh, I don't know what, I'll take Reavers. You know? I feel like these people that are doing well with them should be like, oh, I'm thinking, I'm playing 4D chess. I'm laying mines. I'm removing obscuring. I'm I don't know what else Reavers do. I mean, Phobos do. But if the answer is just, oh, they take Reavers, oh, I could have done that. Who cares? I'm planning on converting Black Templar Sword Brethren into Nenclaw. Do it. Hell yeah. Rock on. It's one of the... It's doing the whole loyalist into heretic or heretic into loyalist is legit, I think, one of the best ways to proxy teams. I would also like to make a quick note about proxies now. I think that certain people online, in the online sphere, prominent members and figures, they are prominent members, if you know what I mean. I apologise. With loud voices that travelled far into the caverns of Kill Team. A while ago now, were very, very anti-proxy friendly and conversion friendly. They were super, super strict about, like, no. If you dare proxy against me, I'm calling the TO. Because you are forcing me to have to use more brain power to understand your team. And you are putting me at a distinct disadvantage. Oh my god, oh my god. I just figured out why he's now okay with proxies. Because he thinks he's putting his opponent at a disadvantage and it gives him an edge to win. Oh, what a... Anyway, for a time, this mysterious person was very, very against proxies. And now he and others have become much more proxy friendly. And that's a good thing. I think the more proxies, the better. There you go. Cool. Whether it's GW models or, third party, all good with me. I think we should embrace it. Because as I've said, games aren't good enough to not have cool-ass models on the board. There you go. I will now proviso this with the revelation that I've just had that if you are proxying your models purely to put your opponent at a disadvantage, I won't finish that sentence. There you go. I was gonna get banned there. Yeah. I've used some homebrews I found, guys, in Once Upon a Kill Team. Hell yeah, do it, my man. Commanders have cartoony elements. I enjoy as a pure He-Man. That's fair. That's fair. Sure. I just think that the proportions of orcs are cartoony. Yeah. So. Well, my dog would be bad for camera as she has black fur. Well. True. Yeah. I haven't played a game yet, but somehow I own the beginner set, Hivestorm and Legionaries. I've yet to finish painting a mini, but I somehow 50. Is it all? Yes, Daniel. In fact, if I'm honest, there are other things to your profile that tell that you would be this way, and that is that you're watching a Kill Team stream where very openly I rarely talk about Kill Team. Only tangentially and very, very loosely, let's be honest. So that means you're a certain level of into it, right? Yeah. So. Hand of the Archon into Vespers post-update is a slog. You have to stay hidden or you die. So, yes, I can imagine. Yes, I can definitely imagine. Okay, so, again, I haven't played with Vespers yet since the buff. I want to. They look like a terror. They look tough. Of course, until I put them on the table and I truly find that out, I don't want to say too much, but just as a quick read, those buffs look solid. I will say, however, very frustratingly, I knew the rules for Vespid. I took them to a tournament, so I knew them decently well. I now have to completely relearn the team because I'm going to assume that they play the way they used to, right? But they haven't. They don't. They've had like 5 changes, something like that, right? And it's like, oh no. How do I don't know what the changes are, but I know what the rules are. But because there's been 5 changes, although I think I know the rules, I literally don't. So I have to relearn the entire... It's really frustrating, actually. Anyway. I also wanted to know your thoughts about Nemclaw versus Kasrkin. Is this going to be hard for the Kasrkin? It's going to be difficult for the Kasrkin. Not unwinnable, though. Since the buffs, maybe even... I don't know, maybe even it leans towards the Kasrkin. But again, I did actually do a Nemclaw versus Kasrkin battle report on this channel. So check that out to see how that went before they got buffed. Love Jaegers and Rattlings. Oh, Rattlings. I want to play Rattlings as well. Damn. I keep forgetting teams I want to play. I should probably play some actual games. The Baneblah. The Banebar. I've fallen back in love with Gellerpox, but Mandrakes might go, I want to play Mandrakes too. Oh my god. I don't play enough Kill Team. Because I want to play all these teams. Hello, Blitz. Hello. The Baneblade could be a whole mission like the second mission from Dawn of War 2 where you had to run. Yes, I agree. I mean, in a similar way to how I laid out the concept of my boss battles, a Baneblade should be its own thing. 100%. Blades of Cain making the list. I'm glad more folks come around to the team. Just to clarify, come around to the team. I took them to the first tournament I played of this edition, sir. I've always been a bit of a Blades of Cain guy. I just like Eldar in general, that's why. Yeah. In fairness, I had to wait for somebody to show me how they play before I could play them myself. But after they pointed out to me that, they're not really a melee team, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, these work. I played against Heretics last week and man, it was awful. At least they've nerfed the ability that stops you from being able to retain crits, because that was insane. Since that, I don't know what they do, because that was obviously such a huge nerf, top players stopped playing them. So I don't know what they do now. Just for the title, my mind flashed to being thrashed by Harlequins on Volcus. Okay, Mr. Not Emperor Palpatine. Very harmless name. Definitely not Emperor Palpatine, that's for sure. I'm looking for something more specific. I don't think just one team on one kill zone is enough. I think we can get narrower with that. And I've got the answer. My patrons already know if you've watched the video, but yeah. Melee leaning, yeah, and Typhon won't do much to change that. Yes. Volcus may have a slight, a narrow leaning towards melee, aka yes, it's broken AF. Yes, I agree. That's mostly how I did my name calls. Sword Brethren are fantastic for the job. Yes, 100%. And they all get cool cloaks, which is awesome. Who wouldn't want to have a cloak if you have big knight armor, right? It's literally my fetish. Quick question on proxies. What would you proxy for large octaves for Gellerpox? 40 mil base, do whatever you want, my man. What are you proxying them as? Like what faction? Because I'll tell you. I'll give you the answer right now. I'm a proxy king, sir. I will tell you what to run them as, but what faction are you trying to run them as? Does that guy's name rhyme with Bonfils? No, I don't know who that could be, Leaks Veeks. Don't know who that could be. It is what it is. Variety is the spice of life, like my wife's personality. Nice. Yeah. The #1 Welsh player? Don't know what you're talking about. Glass 6 swings at other content grids. News 11 exists of other content grids. No. I am actually the only Kill Team channel. In fact, the only YouTube channel on YouTube. So I'm not aware of other people. I actually like the Welsh. Because if I didn't, that would be incredibly racist. So, what? But no, it's a fun accent. The Welsh. Yeah, I quite like it. I've only been to Wales like twice, ever. Have I? I've been once. I've been once. Yeah. I'd love to go, actually, to Wales. We're doing a random Welcome to Glasses hobby trips, hobby guide channel. I'd like to go to Wales, but I'd obviously love to go with good weather. And Wales is not known for good weather. But I would love to do some of Wales for sure. Not in that way, but you know, yeah, 100%. That'd be really cool. I've always been tempted by, they have Firestorm Games in Cardiff. That would be like a good reason to head over there and like do a Kill Team tournament. But then I'm just in Wales. I'm just in a sweatbox for a day, and before I drive back. Maybe not. I'll workshop that. But yes, yeah, we shall see. I would like to visit Wales. I just want the weather to be good. Moss Khan. I feel like I should know what Moss Khan is, but I do not. Nailclaw seem to struggle against anything that has the ability to remove obscured on demand. That does make sense, yes. I mean, that's their thing, right? Spot on, yeah. I know my demographic, my audience's demographic. It's such a shame because I want to collect all the Imperial kill teams, but only like 5 of them are any good experience identifiers. But Perturabo, firstly, you have a Chaos name, not an Imperial name. Moving on, sorry, just wanted to point that out. Why do they need to be good? Also, if you want to collect all the Imperial teams, just collect Inquisitorial agents and all of their auxiliaries. That's all of them, basically. Right? Yeah. Why do my son's Hunterclade always beat my Vespers? Well, okay. I know that Hunterclade have a really bad reputation and win score. And I'm not saying that they can... I'm not saying that they're good, okay? I can see the stats. But they've got some pretty tasty melee. And once those choppy dudes get into melee with your Vespers, they're just going to tear through you and you can't stop them. There you go. And that's probably why. I'd guess. I don't know. I'm not really a Hunterclade expert. I've just looked at their stats and said, oh, those infiltrators are pretty scary, aren't they? Yeah. Don't you abuse this one will cover the screw yourself? Maybe it's me being too sweaty. No. I actually don't, Grimfrost. In fact, again, sorry, just to clarify, Grimfrost, that rule has been removed. I just want to point that out. Right? Just so you're aware. Yeah. That can't be done anymore. You need a separate piece of terrain to grant the obscurity to the retaining cover now. Just throwing that out there, unless you're meaning something else. However, no, I never did that even when it was a thing, because it is a level of sweat that I don't want to play. Except, sorry, so yeah, but it was a conscious decision. I had 100% been on Gallowfall, where it is very, very obvious and easy to see when you could do that. And I just decided I don't want to play that way. But that's fine, because obscurity is always the better pick and doesn't make that much difference. So I said, okay, I'm obscured, which is still sweaty enough, to be fair. I don't like that either. That's a separate issue. But, just throwing that out there, that has been removed. And yes, I have never taken both an obscurity and a cover when it's that fine, right? If I'm at the long end of a ruin, I'll take it, because yeah, there's like 3 inches of obscurity there, right? So it's obvious, but yeah. I want proxies for them as models, as those models had a dog mishap, boom dear, without spending an arm and a leg. Oh, John, I'm like 50 minutes away from when I last read your thing. Proxy, right, Gellerpox. Oh, so you want to proxy them as Gellerpox. Right, I'm with you. Oh, okay, possessed. Yeah. So, okay. Right, you got 2 options. Either way, you're looking at the 40k Killer Space Runes. You got 3 options. But you can either get Warp Spawn. So I think they're actually on 50 mil bases, but you just put mod 40s, they'll be fine. You will have to make them taller. The Gellerpox Hulks, which are up here. Just there, you can't see them, but they're there. are quite tall. But that would be fine. Just some Chaos Spawn. Your alternative, if you want, it's a slightly different aesthetic, is Possessed Chaos Space Marines. They are on 40s. I think they're really awesome models. But yeah, I would recommend that. Another option, a little bit further out there though. No, I don't know which model that would be actually. I was going to say, if you want a little bit more of a conversion challenge, you could do Orcs, because they have the kind of proportions you might be after, but actually, no, I don't think they fit. Yeah, so, Chaos. There you go. So, what would it have? Grenade launcher? So, I think the grenade launcher is always a good pick, right? Because you have the firing modes, you can either go crack or frag. So that's great. That's probably one, because ultimately, end of the day, AP1 beats most other things. Failing that, you're going to want to go with the Hotshot Valley Girl, because you get 5 shots. There you go. And 5 shots is good. I used to live in Wales for a few years in a small town called Chepstow. I've heard of Chepstow. Don't know where it is, but I have heard of it. Very nice. I like most of Wales. I prefer the lakes of the North Somerset coast, though. Somerset's a smidge far away for me to get a regular drive to. As in, it's as far away as blooming Nottingham, so I'm not ever going there. My Vespers get shredded by Hunterclade. I can imagine. Yeah, that is how I imagine that would go. I'm always thinking about proxies, but I'm waiting for a good idea before I commit to buying stuff for a full team. Smart. I'm doing the same. Every day, I wake up with a new proxy team idea, and I have to convince myself to not buy more models, because I'd only be proxying teams I already have. I don't need more models for Kill Team, but I'd like more models for Kill Team. Mordheim Spiritual. Trick question. Mosscon is the latest GW trademark. It's a place in... Oh, is it? Oh. Okay. I really hope not. I don't like Gyron. Yeah, they had the whole edition of the Beasts. I was like, I don't like it. Pick something else. Go to Shyish, damn it. Go to the land of the dead. That's way more interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the whole jungle thing. Yeah. Obviously, I want jungle kill team. I apologize. I do want that. But yeah, I just feel like Gyron isn't it's not as interesting as GW wants it to be. But they're really pushing it. My God, right? That's my take, though. Wells has some grey darts pricing Clayton. Never heard of those words, but okay. On the topic of xenomorphs, they have been seen in dark blue. Yes, it's still just dark to me, unfortunately. Something dark. Yeah. You might notice that all of my models are bright AF, right? There's a reason for that. It's because it shows up better on cameras. There you go. Simple as. Simple as. Hello, Go For It Painting. How are you? Are you painting? I would hope so with your name. Just to clarify, for you and anybody that's recently joined, I have so far in this stream made the statement that people that like painting have been gaslit into believing they should, and that's the only reason. Thank you. No further questions. Grimforce, no, I mean, when I need to hide, I'm in conceal and cover, and when I'm engaged, I tank everything with obscure because I found a small pixel outside 1 inch. Now it's easy to pick obscure. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's the game, right? So the thing is, if you're staying over 1 inch away from a piece of heavy terrain, you are very open to being flanked. So, I mean, that's just how the game is, really. Also, someone made Tyranids into Gallowpox infected. Tyranids, yes, of course. The new Von Ryan Leapers are really, really dynamic. If you just paint them in Gallowpox colours, that would be pretty close, to be honest. Both 40mm bases there. Make Tyranids into Space Marines, just put helmets on them. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. I will say, that has always been one of my hobby wrong word, ideas, doing a Space Marine infected chapter. So like essentially Space Marines that have little bits of alien tentacles and claws coming out of them because they've been infected, right? Similar to how primarily, if you want to think of actual inspiration for that, you're looking at the Terran from StarCraft, because there are infected Terrans. I'm thinking way more that than like infected by Gene Stealers, but whatever, Gene Stealers works. That'd be really cool. And it's also way too much work. I'm not going to do it, but yeah. My younger son has Harlequins. Any tips on those against his older brother's Hunterclade? Oh. No. Firstly, I haven't really played them, so I can't give great tips, but they should have a pretty solid match into them. I suppose make sure he's keeping up his what's it called? Segarak's Jest, and basically he wants to use his murderous entrance or whatever every turn, and that's all I know about them, to be honest. Hello Jack, I've yet to have a rant about your thing. I should probably get to that, but as always I am not staying on topic particularly well, so there you go. Get your point. No problem, Grimfrost. Sorry I couldn't help more. Zachary Geisler, what mutanoid vermin should I bring versus elves? I know nothing about Gelapox, so I cannot answer that. If anybody in chat knows, drop that knowledge bomb, please. Thanks for the suggestions. Didn't know about the Possess, those look great. Yes, if you're willing to go with that style of like aesthetic, I think they're great models. I already have Vespers, but I just now thought about proxying them as Geonosians from Star Wars. Oh yeah. I know that Star Wars Legion has just released some more Geonosians. Oh wait, they're redoing everything. Ignore that just released. They have Geonosians. There you go. I believe that they are quite different in size and scale and wingspan, just to throw that out there, but I need to stop proxying too. No, nobody needs to stop proxying. Proxy more. I have a bunch of Night Lord Raptors for a Legionary. What's wrong with that? Kit bash for all the rolls. Painted one black with gold trim. That sounds fine. That sounds like you're living the life. Right? Simon, you've corrected me on my Age of Sigmar lore. You are completely correct. I, of course, meant Gur, not Gyran. In fact, I will amend my statement. I don't like Gur. Take more time, or just the current edition of Sigmar, whatever, to being Shyish or Gyran. I agree. That would be far more interesting for me. Yes. Although, knowing GW, they... You know what? When I say Gyran, sorry, I'm not applying Age of Sigmar logic to it. I'm thinking of World of Warcraft, and I'm thinking of the holy elements in Shadowlands. Give me that in Sigmar. I'm balls deep. I'm all in. Otherwise, don't give me overflowing lush forest, because that's just Gur with extra steps. By the way, does anyone know why GW nerfed Gelapox by limiting the mutoid vermin equipment by just one? No clue. Unfortunately. Again, I suppose I should throw it out there. Gelapox is not a team you can currently purchase. GW no longer makes the kit, so although it may still exist as models out there, because you cannot purchase it, and we've had a lot of new players from a new edition, I really don't think it's overly fair to discuss a team you cannot purchase, you know? That's my hot take. It's my hot take. Yeah. Also, people don't come to me for tactical advice, so, you know, yeah. Do you like the revamped team rules format on Warcom? They're basically just the cards now, kind of like the old format. Ooh. I think it's much worse to actually read. Obviously, it means you can just print them out, which is good. But to just read as a PDF, it's obviously much harder. Do we need a whole new type of terrain for Kill Team? Ooh. I suspect that whatever the new kill zone is will have that. I think that GW, like with Stronghold, with how they did Beta Decima, with how they made Gallifall work, I do think that we will get something fresh and new. Again, GW seems pretty comfortable with pushing the narrative thematic elements of the mechanics. So I'm sure that whatever the next box is, it will be pretty solid. In regards to mechanics. So I assume that we're going to get something new. Yeah. If I had to totally guess, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we start to see pieces of rubble that we can do, that I can't remember what it's called, but from Octarius, where we can do that rubble move. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back. That's an obvious thing. But it's purely down to what comes in the box. We know that GW is a plastic first company. So, and then they just hand a box of models to the designers and say, make that work. So I suspect, yeah, it's down to what the designers want. That matters not. I apologize, Perturabo, Lord of Byron. There you go. Totally different guy. Very incognito. Bad writing, rules writing. Vermin is 4 bugs for ep. Okay, right. So I've caught up with chat. How about, this is a crazy one. Tell me if you think I'm being crazy on this one, guys. I'm going to actually talk about Kill Team now. Let me find it. So I want to quickly mention a few things. Where have I put them? Oh, yes. When you collect your dice. Okay. So I was talking in a Discord for my local crew. And... oh, where have I... can't find it. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Oh, maybe there. Nope. Ah, okay. So, this is kind of going in, this will become a video at some point, and basically I'm listing off some interesting changes that GW has made to their core rule set. Let's bring this up over on here. Who's this for? Harnkin. And it's noting that they're trying to, what's the word? Not familiarize. Basically bring everything into line, right? So, for example, they released a few erratas. They've done if, when, does. They've done the timing changes on medic. They've introduced the concept of snapshotting without actually saying it. And then they've also done, I think, something that we could phrase as colloquial versus technical documents. It genuinely feels like GW wants to release a new document, right? And they want that document to include a flowchart of timing. And they also want to introduce the concept of snapshotting statistics, so that after an action begins, everything on the board is essentially locked in until the end of that action, right? Snapshotting is what that is. Basically, what this means is that you cannot become injured halfway through an action, right? That seems to be what they want things to work as. And then somebody in my local Discord pointed this out. So, if we look at, where is it? Imposition, style defense, sturdy. Okay. I'm going to read sturdy, a Harnkin Jaeger rule to you. It's 1 CP, it's a firefight ploy. Use this firefight ploy when an operative is shooting a friendly Harnkin Jaeger operative when you collect your defense dice. Change the attacker's retained critical successes to normal successes. Any weapon rules they've already resolved aren't affected, e.g. piercing crits. Okay? So, this feels like, to write this rule, the team went away and read their flowchart of how the shooting attack works. And they said, when do we want this sturdy ability to work? They said, yes, step, whatever it is, 4. Let's do it then. It's like, great. What's the name of step 4? Okay, great. Let's do that. The problem is, when you collect your defense dice doesn't make any logical sense in a colloquial term. I'm fully willing to admit I haven't read it, but I have no doubt that from as a technical document, this lines up and is correct. Okay? But from a colloquial sense, it doesn't make any sense. We do not intuitively know when you collect your defense dice. Without looking, do you collect your defense dice like as soon as the shooting attack begins? Do you collect your defense dice as soon as the opponent has rolled? And then do you collect your defense dice before or after their rerolls? Do you collect your defense dice before or after they have retained crits, and so therefore their retained crits have an effect? Do you collect your defense dice after they've retained all of that and done rerolls, so it's after that? We do not know when to collect defense dice. That doesn't mean anything. Perhaps we only collect defense dice right as the very last thing we do. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm sure it will make sense in a flowchart situation. And that is why I fully recommend that GW does a serious revamp of their, or Kill Team guys, do a serious revamp of their, what's the word? Their timing document, and they release a proper technical timing document because they clearly want that to exist in the game, and they're just hacking apart their rule system to put it in now after the fact, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I don't think it's the worst thing they're doing. But they should additionally release an additional PDF that says, hey, boom, here's everything. Here's an actual timing document of when things occur in a round, right? But there you go. So I think the problem here is that they're all, again, technically correct, sure, but colloquially, this sentence means nothing when you collect your defense dice. To know when this ploy works, you have to go and read how the entire shooting sequence works. So let's go and do that. Because I haven't done this since they pointed it out, but maybe, yeah. So, game rules. It'll be actions, shooting, I'm sure, right? Reposition, dash, fallback, charge, pick a mark, shoot. Select weapon, select valid target, roll attack dice, roll defense dice, resolve defense dice, resolve attack dice. Okay, so actually, it's not one of the main things. So, when do we collect? Okay, roll defense dice. The defender collects 3 defense dice. Cool. So, roll defense dice. So, I just want to throw this out there. Collecting your defense dice is not actually a subsection. It's a thing you do within one of the subsections. That seems poorly phrased immediately. We're not even using the fucking... Cool. I feel like... I mean, hey, writing a rule set's really, really tough, obviously. But this just seems like an easy miss. Like, or a... They need to spend a little bit of time with the Age of Sigmar guys, I think. Sigmar had a really, really good breakdown of how timing works, and they will always reference, like, numbers, essentially. So you always know when something occurs. They did a really good job with Sigmar, I think. So yeah, so you roll your defense dice after the attacker has done all of their stuff with the roll attack dice. So the way you should phrase this is just say, after the enemy has rolled attack dice. There you go. Nice. Done. Cool. Right, there you go. That's all I was going to rant about. It just doesn't make any sense. Colloquially. And I've now noticed that technically, from a technical document perspective, it also doesn't actually reference the step that it is when it is telling you to do it. Right? I've got it here. Literally, step 4 of the shoot action is 4. Roll defense dice. If you want to be technically correct, it should now say, when you 4. Roll defense dice, and have that little bit highlighted in a different color so that you know it's a technical thing they're referencing, not just colloquial words, it's a technical sentence. So then you say, oh, they're referencing this rule. Shoot action 4 roll defense dice. Okay, I now see that happens after the entirety of 3 dot roll attack dice and before the whole of 5 dot resolve defense dice. They've referenced the middle of a rule. Fucking hell. Cool. Nice. I blame GW, not the Kill Team designers, because I have absolutely no doubt that GW forced them to push their games out far too fast. Right? So I don't even blame the rules designers, legit. Like, give them an extra 6 months, and I have no doubt things would be perfect, right? That's not true. Nothing's ever perfect. I apologize. But yeah, that seems like an easy miss. Doesn't make sense. Cool. Right. Sorry. Scramble terrain. Yeah. What's Tony the Tiger's favorite realm? Nice. I like it. Emil, wouldn't it be better as treat all your saves as critical saves? And you have to declare it before rolling your dice? It's entirely possible there are better ways to write it. Savages have access to exact same firefight ploy, almost like they're creating universal ploys. Is it actually identical? So like phrased identically? That's cool. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think that's a negative. I think that because then it's a dwarf thing. Dwarfs get sturdy. Orcs get just a scratch, right? Like, I think that's cool. It's kind of like a race-defined ploy. I think that's fire. That's hardcore. If you are an orc, you always have just a scratch. If you are a dwarf, you always have sturdy. So is it identical? Yes, when you collect your defense dice. Okay. All right, cool, fine. That's nice. It is mentally good. Yes, I agree, Major Tom. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm fine with it having not been in the core rules. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being purely a digital document. Well, it should have been in key principles, but I think it still has value as an additional document that's only in the app, right? Hey. I'm okay with them having app-only things where it's like, hey, we've given you the core book, and it's pretty colloquial. We've made sure that you can read it, and it's very, very readable. Breedable, if you will. Very breedable rules, we might say. However, if you want to know the real ins and outs, the nitty-gritty, the cracks and the crevices, here's a full technical document, I would be very okay with that. That's not what GW does. GW's never done that. Other companies do that. Not GW. And GW's still the biggest company, so why would they ever change? Cool. Let's just get that proviso out of the way, right? I'm thinking about picking up Scouts, but I know they aren't played that much. Is that because they aren't good or they aren't fun? Because as long as they are fun and interesting, I'm in. It's an interesting one. I think Scouts are totally fine. Like from a mechanics perspective, I think they're a decent-ish beginner team. You could argue they're a little bit bland, much like many of the Imperial teams in general. They are bland. Yes. So if you don't want that might be a bit of an issue. However, I think they're okay. I'd play them. I'd totally play them. I think they've got a fun theme. I think they've got enough power level that I would play them. I've lost to Scouts, you know, like they're a thing. That's cool. And the theme, of course, is that you get to set up traps before the game. That's pretty fun. Yeah. And then during the game, after you've had that big thinking moment of where do I want to put all my traps, they're pretty simple. And that's pretty good for new players, I think. And people that want to play that way. It doesn't have to be new players. Personally, I prefer my rules to be entirely technical. I expect that's my developer background kicking in, though. So, you know, it's always hard to how are you defining these things, but I legit really like the Age of Sigmar core rulebook. I think they blew it away. Absolutely great set of rules. If that is technical, I want that. If that is colloquial, I want that. There you go. I really like the Age of Sigmar rule set. Just from a, like, not as a game, maybe I do, but that's not what I'm stating. I don't really know enough about the game to say that. I'm more just saying I think it is a very cool, well done rulebook and rule set in how it's designed and laid out. And they haven't done anything crazy, right? A good rulebook is never going to do anything crazy. It's going to rely on a lot of things. And of course, there are still misses, right? Like, there are things that still just don't make sense without getting really weirdly technical. And reading into things and inferring things, etc., and not being properly referenced, blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be misses. I'm not demanding perfection. But yeah, really good rule set, I think. Hi, Andy. Was wondering what teams you want to see next. Of course, after Typhon, I presume the new edition, like Launchbox Nature with the Killzone factional teams, their flavors. I want Deathwatch. I think we need Deathwatch in the game. I am also 90% sure that we are not getting Deathwatch this edition. Because GW just, like a year ago now, I guess, scrapped Deathwatch. And they then scrambled to bring Deathwatch back as a playable faction in 40k. So clearly, they were not expecting whatever feedback they got that made them rush out a PDF of Deathwatch. Therefore, as we know that their modelling teams work roughly 2 years in advance of their rules teams, we have to be at least 2 years away from a Deathwatch kit being re-released. And that's if the modelling team said, oh guys, the rules guys messed up. We need to make a new Deathwatch kit now because everybody loves them, it turns out. Coffee Cat says, we need gay nights. All Space Marines are canonically gay. So, that's fine. We got them, mate. Pick a chapter. Pick a legion. You're in. Cassius, yes. I was really surprised to see them lose Cassius. Absolutely mad. GW's making mad choices. Although, crazy take. Maybe they're making these choices because those models don't sell. And I'm your standard slave wage, love capitalism guy. People can only truly vote with their wallets. If those teams don't sell, probably means they're not very good. And they could do better, right? Right? Like, you know, I cannot imagine GW removing a kit that is selling well. I don't know. X-Wing Legion have fully technical rulebooks. Okay. It has been a very long time since I have read an X-Wing rule, and I don't think I ever read Legion, so I can't really comment on them, but fair. Good to know. I think keeping on Cassius would make so much more sense than the Hunter Clade and Chaos Cult. Yeah, I agree. Having Cassius as a playable team would have made so much sense. But they've removed Cassius from sale, so it's gone. Real shame, real shame. Whew. Okay, chat. I can actually talk about the worst matchup now. And what's the other thing I'm talking about? Most boring teams. Okay. A classic 2 hours into the game, into the stream, and I can finally talk about the stuff. So, I think there's a pretty obvious one. The worst matchup. I genuinely believe there is one single worst matchup in the game. However, there is another contender. So the worst matchup in the game, fight me on this, as I'm sure you all know, is Wrecker Crew on Into the Dark against Nemesis Claw. There you go. The reason it's against Nemesis Claw is because they have comms jammer, so you can't be +1 APL when you're within 3 inches of them. Which, I mean, yeah. So not only do you have a 6-man APL2 team, you also, then when you do what you need to do, which is fight in melee, cannot get your 3rd APL. There you go. And of course, Gallowfall over Volcus or any other set, because you have to deal with doors, which already, even when not against Nemesis Claw, neuters the Wrecker Crew. There you go. So, nice. Legit, the worst game out there, I suspect. Unwinnable? Yeah. Yeah. Then, as a second one, so I believe that's the worst matchup in the game. If anybody has any other takes on that, feel free to let me know. I don't see it, but yeah. It would be very cool to never rotate things out, just swap them around via seasons. Oh, you mean... no, you've lost me. Do you mean they're rotated out for a season? Nah, that doesn't make sense. I don't quite know what you mean. I think... it's a real tough one. Nobody wants their models taken away from the game that they play, right? But Kill Team is designed as a competitive game. It is an absolute sweat fest, and it is very difficult to play Kill Team casually. I genuinely believe that. I think that the rule set demands a level of sweat, right? Even if you're not doing super sweaty things like, you know, that 1 mil obscuring in cover thing, whatever, even if you're not using little tiny nubbins to get heavy cover from, etc. Just from how lethal the game is and how the line of sight system works, just in its core, not in some sweaty way, it's a sweaty game. It's a lethal game, it's a sweaty game. And therefore, if you don't play cagily, you're going to lose models, you're going to die. Very quick, very easy. Yeah, there you go. So, that is just inherent in the game, in the system. That is how it works. Now, if that is true, and it is, should a game that is designed to be so sweaty actually have infinite teams, right? Like, you have to learn every team. I don't, because I just don't play that many teams, but if you're trying to, you know, win golden tickets or whatever, you kind of need to know what every team does, at least roughly. If you've never played against one of the infinite number of teams, you're probably going to lose, you know? Yeah. So although it sounds bad, I think that as a game, mechanically, Kill Team has to cycle out teams. As a gamer, as a collector, sorry, I think that kind of sucks. As a collector, I don't want my models to stop being usable in the game that I play. That's lame. And very, very distinctly, unlike 2018, Kill Team is not a stepping stone to 40k. They actively do not want it to be that. They have moved away from even having the generic compendium teams. It is not a stepping stone. There is no ramp. It is not a lead-in. And that means that I can no longer tell myself, oh, well, they're not in this game, but they now slot into my 40k army, so I'm fine with it. Nope, there's no connection, you know? And that's a tough pill to swallow, I do think that. It's a bit of a shame. As a collector, as a hobby king. But, as a gamer, yeah, there's way too many teams. It's mad. I can't keep up with them. I want less. I want fewer teams. I reckon 24. I think 30 should be the max. There you go. We don't need more than that. Yeah. So, you know, there are two wolves inside of me. The hobby wolf and the gamer wolf. And they're banging. They're banging. I'll tell you that. Remember Hyrotech into Old Inquisition. Oh yeah, because the Inquisition could turn off their reanimation protocols, right? Just saw Aquilon to Goremager's game at a recent tournament. Yeah, that sounds horrifying for the Aquilons. Yeah, I agree. Like for a season, they are not legal in tournaments, but they stay in game and receive balance. Well, so they are doing that. They're not just taking away the teams. They're still legal for the rest of the edition. Well, for 3 years. It's kind of crazy to think there was going to be 12 to 6. Yeah, it's mad. Absolutely mad. There's going to be more. I know. Point is, basically, from what we know, they are not going to skip any releases. They may add more, though. So, yeah. Point is, you keep all like 20 to 30-ish legal at all times, but don't have a situation like Custodes. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I think declassification is fine. They may actually have overcommitted to updates as they are updating every team throughout the edition. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I can say on that. I'm not sure. They're updating every team throughout the edition. I think every 3 months is okay, if I'm honest. It means that every 3 months... I mean, look, some people are always going to be upset that they update too quickly or they update too slowly, right? I think 3 months is an okay balance, to be honest. Yeah. It coincides with the new release. So you can say, oh, new release and my old team has changed too. Cool. It's only the people that have every team and try to play every team that are actually struggling to remember, is my hot take. Like me, unfortunately. Had the argument investment on Volcus and haven't made it past turning point 2 with more than 4 models as their fly turns on most of my strap points at least for defense. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I do think elf teams with only 8 wounds have a really tough time, and always have had, into Vespid. Because Vespid could just come up and get you, and you can't hide from them with their teleport fly, right? And that's just it. And 8 wounds is killable by Vespids. Marine 14 wounds, not killable by Vespids. And that's a shame. But yeah. Now, 8 wounds, killable. So I don't know how they are after the new update to Vespids, obviously. But, yeah, we'll see. My intention is to play Vespids into AOD. So I don't know how it's going to go. In my mind, I can 100% see the Vespids just shredding through the AOD player. But also that just might not happen. And it's like, oh yeah, no, AOD just tore them up in defense. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, fine. Oh, you're saying so they actually deliberately nerf old teams? Nah. Well, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that, actually. That might be a hot take. Nobody would back me on that one. But I kind of would be okay with, like, power creep. But, like, distinct, overt power creep. No. It would have to be power nerf. It would be like, oh, you've gone to Legends? Okay. Everybody's minus 2 wounds. Something, like, ridiculous like that, you know? I'd be okay with that. Putting some records together now since I adore the team's aesthetic. Never played, but I'm getting into it. Are they a decent starter team? Yes, Swennels, they're a very good starter team. You really can't go wrong. They're also a very fun team. You get to just run forwards and punch people in the face or shoot them. And everybody's rolling 6 dice. Feels great. And if you roll a 6, you get a benefit beyond just it being a 6. It's very cool. They are a very good team. I don't think they're as good a starter team as Marines, but they're still a good fun team. Good choice. We're likely to be at 64 total teams being updated by the end of this session. It's too much. I can't remember that. Mandrakes into Vespid. More than fine pre-buffs, not played it since. Which way round though? As in playing as Mandrakes or playing as Vespid? Any rumours for Kill Team Ravener's release dates? So you mentioned. No, nobody truly knows. However, if they stay on target, then it will be middle of June. So, which means we're still a month and a half away. Lovely jubbly. And there's no reason for us to believe that they wouldn't do that. And I'm over here still waiting for the Nemesis Claw. Man, I've been trying to hunt down some Nemesis Claw. Literally nowhere in the UK has them. Yeah, it's crazy. Just can't get them. Just left the hobby shop. I only had Mandrakes, Brood Bros, Ink Agents, and Rattlings. Any worth to buy? 20% off. Yes. All of them, if you like them. Probably not Inquisitorial Agents, though. Because that's not a full team, to clarify. Any of the others are a full team. Probably not Rattlings either. Probably not Brood Brothers either. Mandrakes. Okay. Allow me to clarify what I just said. So the problem with Brood Brothers, Inquisitorial Agents, and Rattlings. So Inquisitorial Agents, as the kill team, are not a playable team. You literally cannot play them in any way. You have to buy at least one more box of something. Brood Brothers and Rattlings are playable from the box. However, they are better and arguably kind of mandatory to buy an additional one box / model. The Rattlings need Ogryns, whereas the Brood Brothers kind of want, what's it called? The Brood Coven, I think. So that's where you get a Magus, a Primus, and a Brood Lord, I think. And 2 small familiars. You kind of need additional purchases for those 2 teams. Mandrakes are a single box team, you're good to go. They're not a good beginner team, though. So things aren't going well for you there, Daniel. There you go. You think Salvage Jump Pack dude should... he moves 7 inches, not 5. Unless you reference something else there. Mark the Dodgy Spark. Wait, I always thought they have to land on the highest possible point. The fact that they straight up teleport. Yes, I know. I just discovered that on Reddit the other day. Last week or something. It is a straight up teleport. I had assumed that you could just move and just not count any vertical movement. So if you wanted to get under something, you move up, along, down, and back in. Nope. You just teleport. It's crazy, right? It's mad. I haven't used that yet, but yeah. I have Marines as well, yet to be painted. Marines are awesome. Nice. I was Mandrakes. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, okay. Nice. Those are those are the 2 most maneuverable teams in the game. So it's definitely an interesting matchup there. I would probably still give that to the Mandrakes as having the edge. But 8 wounds is a tough profile into Vespids, and I would imagine doubly so now that the Vespids are more killy. And of course, the Mandrakes are relying on their melee to do the killing there, I would imagine. But yeah, cool. Mandrakes probably not affected as much by fly. Sure. Eric N says hello, and I say hello to you, good sir. Hello. You had a chance to try out Pathfinders with updated marker lights yet? No, I haven't, unfortunately. I haven't played since the update. So I have a list of teams I want to play. And the first one I'm going to play is going to be New Vespid. And they're going to go into Angels of Death. After that, I may well try Pathfinders. I don't know what they will play into. Maybe Nemclaw, maybe Legionary. I'm trying to keep it into an elite team because then it's good for reference. I want to play Aquilons. I don't want to play Kaskin. Then for myself, outside of Battle Reports, I want to play Hyrotech Circle. Kind of want to play Rattlings as well, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, I want to play Mandrakes as well. So much, so much. I did see a box of Gellerpox for £30 at Cornish Model Shop the other day. Didn't have anything to play with though. Still shooting myself. Oh no, disaster. Get your Nemclaw here in the US. 4 boxes, mate. Take that, ship it to the UK, and you will be set for life. They'll be gold plated. You could easily sell them at 150%. Oh, that wouldn't cover the tariff. Damn. Oh well. What do we need to charge to cover the tariff these days? Way too much. But that'd be far. Mandrakes are a bloody good time. Yes, I don't think Mandrakes are a good starter team, but they are a good team. And I think they're fun. Yeah. They're not fun to play against, I will say. Yeah. Sorry. They're okay as a starter team. They are not okay to play into as a starter. Yeah. Unless you just don't use half their kit. Because they have some very unfun abilities if you don't know the game and that team very well. Best kit you've ever built. That is strong. That is strong. I have a box of Mandrakes lying around if I want to build another one, but I also just have Mandrakes. Just right there, in fact. These guys here? Mandrakes. I went blue hair, white skin. They're nice. They're very, very tasty. Nemclaw is stupidly popular among Nightlaws. Yeah, that's why you can't get Nemclaw, for sure. I was at a local game store, and he had a copy, so I just bought it. Oh, no. If I found it in the wild, I would buy as many copies as I could. I don't know how it's stocked in the US. It might not be out of stock there. In the UK, I have checked literally every shop that has an online store, and I cannot find a single one with stock. In theory, it's meant to restock in like 2 months, so in July. Until then, easy charge 150% for that kit, and people will buy it, I reckon. I was at a local game store, had a copy, just bought it. Having played parties into Nemclaw the week before the buff, I'm looking forward to giving them another go. Oh, yeah, so I also played we talked about this. I also played parties into Nemclaw, yeah, like the week before they got the buff. I had played Markalites incorrectly, and so my experience was invalid. However, I basically played Markalites without... Pathfinders without Markalites. Now, 2 Markalites giving me... What is it? Balanced? Saturate? What does it get now? I have to check. So, let's assume I'm shooting them with 2 Markalites, which was doable. So, I can't read it. Oh, no. Okay. So, 1 Markalite gives you Saturate and Balanced. Oh, great. I can shoot with that. That's good enough. And then, number 2, +1 to hit, which puts you to 3s. Yeah, 3s. Hitting on 3s, Saturate Balanced. It's a bit outrageous, isn't it? Jeez. So I actually really rate the Pathfinders now. There you go. They have some shenanigans. They have killability. I think they're solid. I think they're solid. Genuinely. I do think the new... Oh, sorry, I have to go read what the Vespid do now. I've actually forgotten what the Vespid do. What buffs did they get? We're almost done with the stream, but I am now going to apparently go and look at what Vespid do. For my own curiosity, Vespid, right at the top there. I love it. Oh, it's Why is Adobe making me sign in? Fucking Adobe. KYS, mate. Jesus. In a video game. I don't know what my password is. Nobody cares, mate. Adobe. Yes, I think 2 Marklights would be very achievable. I didn't do it because I was misplaying the Marklight rule. Obviously. My bad. I don't know why I'm dropping so many frames, but it's a good thing that I'm going to stop soon. Designer's commentary. Where's the supplementary information on? Do they not have it on the PDFs? Is it only in Is the supplementary information only in the app? No, here we go. Okay, I found it. I found it. We're good. We're good. What do they get? New Sky Torch Assault. Oh, +1 operative, obviously. Oh, yeah, the drone. You don't need to be visible to now. That's actually a very big buff. That's good. And then improve hits out of friendly optives claws by 1. And those weapons have the lethal 5 and shock weapon. Okay. Yeah, that's useful. That's good. Puts you to a 4? No, it puts you to a 3. I like it. That's good. They're solid. They're solid. Are they too good? No. There you go. All right. Well, I'm glad I solved that. Adobe, you'll get... Yeah. I'm tied into Adobe because I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos. Because the better version, DaVinci Resolve, some reason just never ran well on my PC. Otherwise, I'd be using that and I would never touch Adobe. But since I have Adobe for Premiere Pro, I figure I use their other things too. The melee strap buff seems insane to me. It's very good. I will say, I mean, hey, purely luck of the draw with the dice. But at the tournament I went to, my Vespid into Corsairs did more damage in melee than shooting. That was a very bad game. That was a very bad game. I played pre-buff Cascade against Void Dance and maybe once. Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. Yeah. What are you supposed to do? You just get wrecked. You can't stop them from charging you. You get 3 dice on the attack. Yeah, you're screwed. They kill you in any 2 hits. Oh my gosh. Nightmare. Nightmare. That sounds very unwinnable. I would definitely say. Nemclaw is in stock on GW homepage. Oh. You know what? I have not checked the GW homepage because I'm not paying RRP. So that's on me. That's on me. But yeah. Moveset inches, but do you think he should get the extra 2 inches when he charges so he has charged 9 inches? Yeah. Yes, to clarify, you'd said he moved 5. So I'm just throwing that out there. Right. So I assume that the reason he doesn't get 9 is because he has fly, right? Let's have a look. I have not played Hearthkin. So this is purely... Where is he? Jump Pack Warrior. There you go. So he's a 7 move. When he gets a jump pack... Oh yeah, he can fly. No. I don't think he should get the plus 2-inch move. There you go. Nice. It seems that GW has the vibe. Yeah. I'm cool with that. Keeping in mind that his fly is written exactly the same way as the Vespid, so it's a teleport, right? He essentially loses the 2 inches in going up and down things and through walls. That seems okay. Lethal 5 with shock and a hit stat improvement? Yeah, it's very good. I agree. I saw one copy of Blood and Zeal on my LGS and got super FOMO. I mean, hey, gets us all sometimes, gets us all. I will say, I've seen, anecdotally, quite a bit of Blood and Zeal on the stock, on the shelves. So maybe it didn't sell too well, or maybe they actually produced enough. Current mini of the month is handy for Chaos Space Marine teams. Oh, I should probably go and get that guy. Tomorrow? No, I'm busy. It's probably too late, actually. Oh, it's only the 5th. I should try and get him, yeah. Made him into a Flamer Dude, so I have all options for the Nem Claw. And it's for every single optive, for every single fight. Maybe I'm biased, read scared, because I don't play Vespers, and both my kill team buddies do, like if it was a firefight boy. Let me go back to the Vespid. I will say that when I have played them, I use that from turn 2 onwards, because this is a game where everybody tries to melee you. So, you know. And it puts you to hitting on 3s with 3/4 damage, but you're still only 3 dice. Lethal 5 shock. Look, anything with 3 dice is never going to be a melee powerhouse. It just isn't. In reality, you're going to get 1 crit, and if the opponent can stop that crit with their own crit, you're not doing anything. You're doing 3 damage and dying, right? But if you get 2 crits, you'll be able to parry 1. Well, sorry, your strike, which will then parry. That's pretty good, but you're not a melee powerhouse with 3 dice. It's just, yeah. And you're not supposed to be, so that tracks, but yeah. So let's have a GW store in Chechnya. I need the monthly middies. I see that you're on the Chechnya side as opposed to the Czech Republic side. That's fair. I have been to Prague and Brno. Both nice enough places. I should probably look into when the next Prague Open is for Kill Team. Maybe I could go to Prague. Why not? Vespers have such magnificent models. I would always love them no matter their weaknesses. You know what? It's awesome that some people are so into them. I have mine. I painted them, obviously. I think they're fine. They don't blow me away. I just think they're nice. But that's good. It's good that some people like them. Exactly the same as with Sanctifiers. I'm like, these are just so not for me. They look so dull. But some people, it's like, oh, this is my best team. An awful lot of people seem to be into Chaos Cults last edition. Until they got a nerf 3 months later. That was weird, wasn't it? Suddenly, everybody decided they were done with the theme of Chaos Cults. And they said, oh, actually, thematically, I've moved on with my life. Vespers, they don't seem to be bad at anything. I've never seen a Vesper player run out of communion. Yes, the communion points are poorly implemented. However, it is possible that you roll nothing but 1s, and that will then be limiting to you. However, additionally, they are bad at melee. They're 3 dice. Lethal 5 shock is better than nothing, but it's not good at melee. An assault incest is still killing you, right? Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. I've seen some people saying, yeah, about to check. Cool. Buff Butcher hitting on 4, no rewards of any kind is criminal. Is he? No, he's 5 dice now though, right? And killing everything in the game in 2. Something like that. That's fine. Unless you're playing against AOD, in which case they block you. Okay. So now you explain the teleport, I understand why he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it's a choice, right? They could give him +2, but in my mind, because it is a literal teleport as opposed to just ignore, they're kind of factoring in the fact that you get to go up and down as much as you want as that extra 2 inches that you would be gaining if you charged. But whatever. They only just added communion points not resetting. I haven't played them since the communion points don't reset, so I can't really say how much effect that would have, but I will say, not that I was a top tournament player, but I never, even when they did reset, I never ran out of communion points. Now I have to take equipment to make that be a thing, so it's taking up an equipment slot, right? I'm 1 equipment slot down, but still really quite easy to not run out of communion points. But then I also didn't roll nothing but 1s on my communion point rolls, you know? So. My Chrome has crashed. So I might not be able to stop the stream, but I am going to be stopping the stream right about now. And hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds in the world of Glass Half Dead. For sure, if I ever head over to random countries, I will attempt to let people know I'm heading over there. No doubt, no doubt. I will undoubtedly be there for a kill team tournament, though, presumably. So, hey, you know, thank you so much to everybody for sitting in on another one of these long kill team chats. Hopefully you've got some good hobby done, you've got some good work done, some cleaning the kitchen, whatever it is you're doing, and you've enjoyed my very loose, tangentially related to kill team chat. You know, my view on these is that I'm trying to maintain that connection with the community out there, and hey, there's not enough kill teamers. There are some people out there that want more kill team content, and it's just not there, you know. So awesome. Oh wow, Sonic Shock coming in with the £5 that goes straight to the hydration fund. Hydratus Dominatus, my good sir, thank you. You thank me for the stream, and I thank you for the support. Very generous, very generous. Well, I'll be doing it next Monday as well. And this week, we have some bangers of videos, let me tell you that. I don't know what I'm releasing, but they're good. I know that much. I've got a Vet Guard interview coming up. I've got some hot takes from a pro player. I've got a proxy guide, and that's just what I've already recorded and is ready to go live. I'm also planning on recording that Vespid versus AOD battle report. Right. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Stay hydrated. Goodbye. I don't know how to stop the stream. Hold on. There you go.